Scanner Sombre. This game was truly one of the most interesting and unique experiences I've ever had while playing a game. The base idea is that you go through a pitch black tunnel with a scanner. The scanner produces tiny dots all along the walls, creating the shape of a cave that you're supposed to go through. Throughout the game, there are different places and a couple of short lines of dialogue that help build up the story. The gameplay is fairly slow-paced, but everything is placed so that there's never not a challenge, no matter how difficult that challenge may be. Throughout the game, you'll sometimes hear a buzzing noise and see a person, or an outline of one at least. Some may be falling, some may be standing still. As you go on, each level seems to get larger and harder, and have some new experience or thing. This game is shockingly calming. Whether that's a good thing, I'm not fully sure. I wouldn't say I actually got scared by this game a single time, which is a little bit odd for a horror game. I honestly wouldn't know what other category to classify it as though. The soundtrack is beautifully built and every part of the game matches the music. The audio design can be slightly irritating, and for some reason some of the noises just feel a tiny bit too loud to the point where they after a long time they do start to annoy you. The scanner you're holding progressively gets upgrades as you go along. The first one being an aperture, which is basically just being able to shorten and widen the point it shines. The second is a map, if I remember correctly. The third is a burst scan. I'm pretty sure there's another, but it just changes the color schematic. It just makes objects look more realistic and outlines some things to make it easier to find your way around, which is actually really pretty helpful. Now to touch on a couple of the negatives. It's really easy to get lost. Even once I had the map, I found myself getting lost on multiple occasions due to not fully knowing where I'm supposed to go. I think possibly an arrow guiding you in the right direction could have been really helpful, but it also might have been the game devs' intentions to make you have that feeling of not really knowing anything. The jump scares also aren't very scary. They kind of just seem to jump at you, and the sound isn't really loud enough or scary enough to make you spooked. I don't know. It also kind of seems like they spent more time on the actual functionality of the game than the story, which I'll touch on again in a second. My final complaint is that the game can definitely be a little bit boring at some points, and I can totally see some people just not really liking it. The story of the game is kind of left up to the player as well. There's a huge spoiler warning here. The only thing that you know for sure is 1, it's a memory, 2, you're dead, and 3, it has something to do with caves. My personal interpretation is that you died in these caves after your family advised you not to go, and are reliving your memories and becoming some sort of ghost? Possibly. My evidence for this being, at the start of the story it mentions how your wife never fully understood your obsession. Him being dead and missing his family is pretty much just stated at the end of the game. And the final cutscene of him becoming dots and making a loud shrieking noise supports the idea of him maybe becoming a ghost. This would also explain why he could see the other ghost-like figures flashing in and out, possibly representing him fading into the afterlife? Maybe? I'm not fully sure about this. This, again, just what I think. This game is truly pretty spectacular, and I strongly recommend you guys going and checking it out. It's like $6. As for the number grading, that's a pretty difficult task. The game advertises itself as a horror game, and while there are horror aspects at some points, I think that this game is more calming and satisfying than actually scary. So that, I don't know. I feel like that takes a couple points away. It is, however, an amazing and new idea for a video game, and actually shockingly original. The game looks pretty beautiful, it feels nice to play, and the ending was pretty sad. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Very, very solid game. I really enjoyed it. If you guys did enjoy this video or this review, there are a lot more on screen probably. If you do like this channel, or my voice, maybe smash the subscribe button. If you specifically like this video and no others, you can click the like button. It really helps the YouTube algorithm. If you didn't, you can press the dislike button. It also helps the YouTube algorithm, just not really in my favor. If you want me to review any game in specific, make sure to drop it in the comments, or if you just want to say anything, just throw it down there. I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.